the book is the car and the worksheet is the key. And you can get in the car, you can be like, this is an amazing car. Look at all these, look at the leather, and oh, it's great. And or it's even kind of funky and it's a 70s, it's retro, whatever car it is. But in order to actually start that engine and go, you have to put in the work. So it's like this blend between business and self-help when it's just sort of following these guidelines. And one example is this brand positioning and strategy worksheet. And I've done a lot of talks in the past month or so building up to it. And I'll bring this out and I'll challenge people to work through it. And so many people will say, or ask about, how do I grow my following? Like, how do I gain more followers? Ryan, how do you have so many followers? But one of the questions is, how many followers do you want? Mm-hmm. And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, if you don't know, how are you going to know when you've actually reached your goal? Like, is 5 or 10 or 10,000 or so? It's like, there's just something powerful of being forced in the nicest way possible to start to make some of these decisions that then actually will lead you to where you want to be. So we kind of take the excuse out from under you by giving it to you.
Yeah, and I mean, we've had multiple conversations where you put me in very difficult situations, and you feel better for it. And it's a case of, if you don't go through those, you don't necessarily know if you can go through them first and foremost, and what's at the other side. And I thank you dearly for putting me in those situations, because it's just those, you generally don't get to meet people that do it for themselves, put themselves in those awkward situations. They almost need a little push, because it's so easy not to put yourself in those situations.
Yeah, just like a trainer at a gym, you're always gonna work out harder if you have more structure and somebody who's pushing you and counting the reps. It's actually kind of an interesting concept. I was working out with a buddy when I was in Boston, and we were working out together, and he was setting up the rotation, and then he was like there with me. He's like, all right, 1, 2, and I kind of felt awkward. I'm like, I can do this, but then I was like, wait a minute. He's like just helping me do the best, and I found myself doing more and doing them better. And it's like, it really helps when people push you and force you to make some of those decisions that you've been avoiding, or you've just made a mark in a pencil, hoping that it's enough to move forward instead of making it Sharpie marker.